Hi, this is Matt, and in this tutorial we're going to get into sound design in Reaper and assignment 7. So first off, let's get into Reaper, and we have to make sure that a couple things are set up. So first of all, for this assignment I'd like it done at 48 kilohertz. So you can go into preferences here and make sure that this is selected at 48,000. The other place you can do it here is in your project settings. You need to make sure that this is also set at 48. So what we're going to do here is go to 48 and hit OK. And then the next step will be to save it as. So I'm just going to save this on my desktop here. And I'm eventually going to delete it. So we'll save it, and that'll make sure that when I drop audio files in here and save it accordingly, everything should be within the package. So make sure it's on the desktop and we're ready to go. So what you can see over on the right hand side here are some sounds that I have downloaded from freesound.org, and I've renamed them so it's pretty easy to see what they are. And basically what I'm going to do is build one animal sound and one industrial mechanical sound. And then we're going to get into some folders and how to organize your project and the sounds clearly. So the first thing to do is drag and drop a sound in. So maybe we'll take a squeal and drag it in here. And then you definitely want to turn your snap enable off so that you can move your audio around nice and smoothly. And then we're going to preview it. Ouch. Okay, so maybe that's a little too much like a fingernail on a chalkboard. So maybe I want to pitch it down, or maybe we could like pitch it down and slow it down. And you have to remember that Reaper isn't a wave editor, and that the editing that you do in it isn't destructive, which is both good and bad. But let's say I want to get in and do some destructive editing. Well, Reaper can work in conjunction with Audacity, and I'm going to show you how to set that up here. So if I want to send it to Audacity, I go to Reaper Preferences, and then if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, External Editors, you can go to Add, and then Primary Editor, we're going to go to Browse, and I'm just going to go to my Applications, and then Audacity is hiding down here at the bottom. I go in there, and I'm going to select Audacity, and then I hit OK. And OK again, and it's ready to send to Audacity. So now, if I double click on the file, it'll show you what the object parameters are here, which can be really important. Notice the I over here, it is resampled. So you can drag and drop things from freesound.org that are at multiple sample rates. You'll see some at 16, some at 44.1, some at 48, some at 96, and you can drag them all in and it'll resample it, which is pretty cool. You don't have to go through any rigmarole in Audacity to make that happen. So now to get into Audacity, I'm going to go to Item, and then Open Items in Editor, and Open Items in Audacity App. And you can actually see that there is a key shortcut here, which on the Mac is Option Command E. So I'm going to select this, and there is my file in Audacity. And here in Audacity, I need to change my sound to the sound card that I'm using here. And then I'll hit play. Yikes. So I wanted to maybe slow it down using one of the effects that we should know here. If you want to stretch it out, Paul Stretch is a good one. But I kind of want to pitch this down and slow it down. So to do it simultaneously, I can kill two birds with one stone by using change speed. And I'm just going to turn it down here, hit OK. Okay, now that's really creepy. Let's keep it. So now I need to export this back into Reaper. Now here's the thing. I want to keep all of my files organized. So what I need to do at this point is go to File and then Save Project As and Save As, right? I need to save it in here, and then I'm going to create a subdirectory for the project. So I'm going to hit Save, and this will create a folder that I can start saving my audio into. So hit Save, and I'm going to replace that. And then when I go back over here, I'm going to export. And so I'm going to go to my desktop, and here's the one, and it's right here, and I'm going to save it in here. So I'm going to call this Squeal Slow, and then I know that it's edited. And I'm going to go in here just to check the output. So I have 24-bit WAV file, okay. And I'm going to hit Save, and then OK. Now I should be able to close Audacity, and I'm not even going to save it. So I don't want to see Audacity files in the in your folder. I really just want to see the exported audio, just to keep it pretty clean and keep your zip folder smaller. So now it still hasn't changed it here in Reaper. It's that really high pitch one. But what we can do is if we double click on it again, and we can see our parameters, I can go to Choose New File. And then here you'll see, it even knows where to look, Squeal Slow, and I'll hit Open. And then we'll play this back. So pretty cool. That's how you use Audacity. So it's a couple extra steps, but the cool destructive editing that you can do now becomes a powerful force sort of within Reaper. And you're really off to the races. So now to save a few steps, I have created another file. I've already combined some of these sounds and moved them around and done some effects and stuff. So let's go check that out now. And now you can see, I'm just going to scroll down, I've got a bunch of files in here. And actually what I've done is I've compiled two different sounds. I've done this animal sound, which is the sounds up on top, and then I've done some sort of mechanical sound down on the bottom. And it's starting to look a little cluttered. So there are a couple things that you can do here. One is Command M on a Mac will hide the mixer and give you some more real estate. But it's still going to be really hard to organize these sounds within your range window here without getting lost. I mean, you have to remember there are only 2 of the 6 sounds here. So what I'm going to do is do some housekeeping here, and I'm going to create some folders. So now I can go to Track and insert a new track. I can just grab it and drag it up here. Now what I'm going to do is put 4 of these sounds within a folder. So to create a folder, I can just click down here on the plus. This will cycle it and it'll turn it into a folder. If you hit it again, it'll turn the folder off. So now what it's done is put all of these sounds into a single folder. And I really only want to do 4. So what I can do is come down here to the clatter. This is going to be my last sound. And I'm going to hit it once. So that turns it into a folder. If I hit it again, it'll turn it into and hover over it. It says track is the last track in the folder. And then these sounds are all grouped, and you can actually see the amalgam of these sounds on the top. And then you can do cool things like solo this one out. And so I have a couple pig sounds that have been altered. You can see I have effects on here. I have a little bit of automation on the tracks as well. And then that all gets wrapped into a nice little package here. And then the cool thing is we can minimize this for working like this. So you click here, and then it'll minimize the sub tracks. And if you click on it again, I'll make them really small. And hit it again, and then I'll open them up. And then let's say we want to export just this one sound. Well, now the beauty is I can solo this out and export it. But before I do that, I need to do one step, and that is go to Save Project As. And then I'm going to go to my Assignment 7 folder, and then I'm going to remember to create the subdirectory for the project. And this will make a nice place that I can drop sounds in. So now I'm going to preview it one more time and go back to my mixer view. Okay, so the one thing you want to do is make sure your output isn't clipping. So the step to do that, remember, is go to your VST plugins on the master track, and we're going to use the VST W1, which is right here. We're going to select that and then drop the threshold back a few dB, and that should take care of any peaks that clip the output. And then we're ready to export it. So one reason that I'm going to export it is I'm actually going to redrag that conglomerate of these four back into the range window. When I turn this into my 1 minute interaction between the monsters and the machines, each sound will only be one audio track, and all of these others will be wrapped into nice little folders, and we can just hide them down at the bottom. So now the other step to export is you want to create a loop of the length of the thing you want to export. Make sure that your folder is soloed out, and then you can go to render. So I'm going to go to render, and I'm going to call this, this is that squeal, I'm going to call it a Vogon. And then remember the sample rate, you have to change that here. I want this at 48, just to be clear. And then I'll hit render, and I can close this. Now I can zip that up nicely. I'm going to do that exact same thing here for the second track. So I'm going to mute this one, and then let's preview this other sound really quickly. So I need to create a folder again, insert a track, and then, so now I create a folder, and you saw it draw the nice little waveform here. And then I want to make sure that this is the last track in the folder. And now I don't have to solo out all these individual ones. I can just solo out that track. And then the other cool thing is you can actually add some automation on top on this track. If you open it up like that, you have all of the same cool things that you could do with the other individual tracks. So I can put like a global effect on this whole thing. So if I want to put like a reverb on this one, I'll go to reverberate. So dark corridor, and then let's preview this one. Ah, cool. So now we have some reverb on there, and I'm going to export or render. So make sure it's at 48 again. We'll call it Vogon footstep. We'll render that one and close it. Now I can zip this up nice and tidy. And I'm just going to close it like this. So here's one more thing to keep things organized. The first one was called the, what do we call it? The Vogon cough. We can rename it. Call this one the Vogon footstep. How about the master? Okay, and then now I can go and create a new track. And I need to get some audio in there, and I'm just going to drag one of my files here, and should be under date modified up Vogon footstep. So I can put my cough in this one, and now I can actually put the there. I'm going to put this one over here, and I can zoom out. And now I can start organizing. So now I can take this file and I can do a copy and paste, Option C. I can paste it and move them around. So now I've got several footsteps, and the cough comes in between. So maybe this guy coughs between every footstep. And paste that there, and then we'll preview this. Okay, and so that was 2 sounds. I want to see 6 total. It should be 1 minute long. Have fun. See you next time.